You know that feeling? You're at the pharmacy, you look at a prescription, and it feels like you're trying to decipher some ancient secret code? Or have you ever noticed how a bunch of different medicines have names that sound, well, kind of the same? If you have, you're not wrong, and you're onto something really fascinating. Let's dig into it, because there's a whole hidden language in those names, and believe it or not, it's designed to save lives.
Yeah, why do so many medicines sound alike? It's a fantastic question, and trust me, you are not imagining it. So many drugs, for all sorts of different things, seem to share these little pieces of their names. So what gives? Is it just lazy naming, or is there actually a method to the madness? Okay, just look at this example. Atorvastatin and simvastatin. These are two super common cholesterol drugs. See it? Right there at the end, that shared bit, statin. That is not a coincidence. And I'm telling you, once you see this pattern, you're going to start seeing it everywhere. Exactly. This isn't just some random quirk. It's a global system, all carefully planned out. It's like a secret language, a code, and it's all there for one reason, to save lives.
All right, so who came up with this whole thing? Who's the architect of this global drug dictionary? Well, it's the World Health Organization, the WHO. They're the ones who took on this monumental job of creating one single universal language for medicine. And the system they built is called the International Nonproprietary Name System. Yeah, it's a mouthful, so we just call it the INN system. The goal here is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. The idea is to give every single drug one unique official name that's recognized all over the world. That's the generic name you see on your prescription bottle. And it means a doctor in Tokyo can be sure that a pharmacist in Toronto knows exactly what substance they're talking about, no confusion. And this isn't just some little side gig for them either. This is part of their core mission. It's literally written into the WHO's constitution that they have to create these international standards. It's all about making medicine clearer and safer for everyone, everywhere.
Okay, so we know who does it and why they do it. But how does it actually work? How do they build these names? Well, this is where it gets really, really cool. Let's crack this code together.
The secret to this whole language comes down to one little thing, something called a stem. The best way to think about it is like a family name for drugs. It's that little piece of the name they all share, and it tells you, hey, this drug belongs to this family. So officially, a stem is a common part of a drug name that shows it belongs to a group of drugs that all do a similar job in the body. For any doctor, pharmacist, or nurse, it's an instant clue. They see the stem and they immediately know what kind of drug they're looking at. Now, this diagram is straight from the WHO, and it lays out exactly how this all connects. I know, it might look a little intimidating at first glance, but the idea behind it is actually super straightforward. Let's just walk through one of their own examples to see what I mean. Okay, let's break this down. Step 1, we spot the stem, which is calci. Step 2, we see what that stem means. In this case, it's for stuff related to vitamin D. And then step 3, we see it in a real drug name, cholecalciferol. And what is that? It's just a scientific name for vitamin D3. See? The stem calci immediately told us what family it's in. It's such a simple, elegant little code. All right, now that we've got the basic idea, let's look at some other really common stems. I bet you'll recognize some of these. You might even have something with one of these stems in your medicine cabinet right now. So let's start with MAB. This one is huge in modern medicine. If you see a drug name ending in MAB, that tells you it's a monoclonal antibody. What are those? Well, think of them like microscopic heat-seeking missiles. They're these super specialized proteins made in a lab that can hunt down and target very specific things in your body, like cancer cells. That's why they're such a game changer for treating really tough diseases. Now, here's one I'm pretty sure everyone has heard of. Psyllin, right? Amoxicillin, penicillin. That psyllin at the end is the stem. It's a dead giveaway that the drug is an antibiotic from that classic penicillin family. Simple as that. Okay, what about Olol? If you see that stem, you're looking at a beta blocker. These are drugs that do exactly what they sound like. They block the effects of adrenaline. This helps slow down your heart rate, lowers your blood pressure, which is why they're so common for heart conditions. So when a doctor sees a name like metoprolol, they instantly know what it does. And this brings us right back to where we started. The stem, statin. That tells a pharmacist that the drug is an HMG-CoA reductase inhibitor. Okay, that's the super technical term, but all it really means is that it's a drug that lowers cholesterol. So atorvastatin, simvastatin, they all have that statin family name because they all have the same job. So you can see this is a pretty clever system for organizing drugs, but it's so much more than that. It's an absolutely critical safety tool for the entire world. This universal language has huge real-world consequences.
I mean, think about it. Because of this system, a pharmacist in one country can safely fill a prescription written by a doctor halfway across the world. It helps stop a doctor from accidentally prescribing two different drugs that actually do the same thing, which could be dangerous. It cuts down on errors. It makes sure that from the lab bench all the way to the pharmacy counter, everyone is speaking the same language. It really is a global safety net all built out of these simple little word stems.
Now, to make sure this whole system works and stays safe, the WHO has a really important rule. The brand names, the trademarked names like Lipitor or Advil, they're not supposed to use these official stems. And that makes perfect sense, right? You don't want some company creating a catchy brand name that sounds like a heart medication when it's really, I don't know, a headache pill. That would be incredibly confusing and dangerous.
And they take this rule very seriously. Way back in 1993, the World Health Assembly put it plainly. Mixing up brand names and the generic system could, and I quote, ultimately compromise the safety of patients. So the clarity of this language is directly tied to keeping all of us safe.
And what's so cool is that this secret language isn't set in stone. It's always evolving. As science makes incredible leaps forward, the WHO is right there creating new stems for new kinds of treatments. We're already seeing stems for things like gene therapies and mRNA medicines. It's like this language is a living map of human ingenuity, which really makes you wonder, doesn't it? As we keep pushing the boundaries of medicine, what's going to be the next big stem? What will be the next Cillin or Vastin that defines a whole new generation of life-saving treatments?